Okay, so let's open it up. Bike sales. Yeah, I need feedback. If you're able to open the file, yeah, I need an emoji to tell me, oh yes, I got that done. If you're able to access the file.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. I thought it's 4:40.
You said?
I thought it's 4:40. Like I was saying 4:40 on
Oh, it's
the.
4:30.
Oh, okay, sir. I was not set
Yeah,
up, sir. No. This is 4.
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Yes.
We're also trying to set up it. It's okay.
Okay, sir.
So, guys, are we able to access the file?
Yes, we
No,
have been able to
sir.
access the file.
No, sir.
Yes,
Good.
sir.
You got the file downloaded. That is good.
No, sir.
Okay. So let me open mine also. So bike sales brief.
Yes, sir.
No.
Someone said no. Someone said no.
I
What's
didn't
the
get it,
challenge?
sir.
Are you able to access it? You didn't
No,
get it.
no.
Now, can you check
I
the
didn't get
charts?
it,
Can you
sir.
check the charts? Can you see the chart? Can you check the charts?
I'm just joining, so I
The
don't know the file
Google
we are
Meet
meant
charts.
to download.
We have dropped a link to the file there. Are you able to see the
Bike
Google Meet
sales.
chart? The chart
Bike
window of Google.
sales.
Okay.
That's the link to join.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'll send it.
Welcome.
Okay.
Most welcome. Seen it, right? Good. Also,
I've seen the
so that's the
link.
file we are using. So,
It's open.
okay, so the name of the file is bike sales. That's the name of the file. Bike sales. That's the name of the file we're working with.
Sorry, sir, please, where can I access the link?
I didn't get that.
Where can I access the link?
Okay, can you check the charts? Can you access the charts?
Chat
Can you
or
Sir, it's
access
WhatsApp?
not
There's a
there.
link on the chart. Or also, if you go to the website, LMS, if you go to the Learning Master website also,
Hey. So can you reshare it on the chat, please?
okay. Which of the chart? The Google Meet charts?
The Google Meet chat. Yes, sir.
Yes, I have shared it again now. I have
And
shared it
also
again
WhatsApp,
now.
please. Also WhatsApp chat, please.
WhatsApp chat too? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
WhatsApp chat.
let's do it on WhatsApp. Okay. Okay. I've done that also. So we have it both on the WhatsApp chat and on Google Meet chat also.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. So I understand that you dropped the link on the Google Meet chat, but apart from
Yes.
this link, is there no other way we can access it? For example, do I have to follow the link? Because I can definitely log into my dashboard, but going on to check my dashboard, I can't see
Okay.
the courses on my dashboard except from following that link that you dropped. Because, for example, now, for example, now, I
yeah.
wanted to
Now,
go.
now let me. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I get what you are talking about now. That from the dashboard,
Yeah,
that you're unable to see the courses listed.
exactly. Yes.
Right? So, yeah, the technical guys are trying to fix that.
All right.
Because ordinarily you should not go through this or that. This is just a longer route. The better route is log into your dashboard, click your course, and go into this. So,
Exactly.
the guys are working on it. I'm sure by Tuesday they must have been able to fix all these challenges.
Okay, thank you.
It's true. The
Thanks a
dashboard
lot
is
for
not
that feedback.
accessible. It's true.
Yes, yes. So that's why I have to be sending the link as much as possible. Oh, we'll sort that out. I can assure you. Okay,
Yeah,
good. So
good
at least
afternoon,
now we
everyone.
all have access. Good afternoon.
Yeah, do we all have the data sets now?
I don't have yet to.
I thought they have shared. Bruce, maybe you should send the file to WhatsApp if they are on WhatsApp so they can easily download it.
Ọ̀pọ̀ mi ní ìsinyìí. Okay.
Maybe we should forward that. Hello. Wait, please, can you mute your mic? Okay. So, I will soon share my screen now. My name is Paul. I'm the one that will take us through to this class. And what we are going to be doing today is just revision of what we have done and how you can do analysis in your Excel in the real life. So we are going to be simulating some kind of real life problem with the data sets we have. So just follow through. That's why I said we need a particular data set. So I think they are working on it for everybody to have that also. So from Friday that we started, I was also in class, and we said the facilitator really do a wonderful job taking us through what Excel is all about. Okay. Then yesterday also they have covered a lot of aspects for us that will make us to do a lot with Excel. So today basically we are going to perform some kind of analysis on the bike sales stuff that we have and how to normally work with Excel, how to analyze your data and some kind of key point that you need to, or some kind of stuff that you need to focus on whenever you are trying to do your analysis. That's what we are going to focus on today. We have all done what we have used formula, we have done pivot table and all that. So how we can combine everything together and get the kind of results that we need out there. Using Excel for company, for that it will come with some kind of questions. Mind you, analysis is just for you to give answer to some kind of questions asked maybe by the organization you are working with. So let's say the kind of data sets we are working on today now, that is about the bike sales. You are working for a particular organization that what they are into is they are selling bike sales, they are selling bike. So they may want to know some kind of stuff going on within their data. Mind you, all these data we have been working with is just simulating the real big data outside there that we are going to have access to. And once you know how to handle this small data that you are working with, that's what you are going to do on the big thing also. So we just need to be good with this small one, then we should be able to handle the big one. So I would like everyone to open the sorry.
You have a network challenge, Mr. Paul?
I can hear you clearly, sir.
We lost you for a moment.
Oh, sorry,
Sorry,
I don't know.
I'm using my system. So
I did not mute my mic. That's one. I said everyone should just open their
Okay.
the data sets we have. That's what I said. Bike says. I will soon share my screen.
Oh, okay.
Please confirm if you can see my screen. I'm sharing my screen now. Can we see my screen?
Yeah, it's up now.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm also trying to load the data here on it's okay. This is the kind of data that we have. So as someone working with Excel, or let me say maybe data science or any of the stuff that may be, one of the things you need to firstly do is to pay attention to the data you are working with. Know what is actually going on with the data. That's okay. What is the data all about? And by that you can check through the content of the data, knowing what is inside of the data now. So if I check through here, I can see a column of dates. I can see the one of date, the month, year, the customer age, the age group, and the customer and subcategory products. Subcategory products, the other quantity, units, costs, unit price, profit, and cost. So I have that. Okay, so let's say as an analyst now, you are being asked to work on this particular data set to get some kind of insight from the data set for the organization. So one of the things that confirm, do we have the same data set? I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, what's
So,
excuse me,
Ma,
please. What's the name of the data set?
I
Sorry,
can't
what's the
find
name
it.
of the
bike,
data set? Is it
bike says,
sales 72 or which one?
bike says.
Hello? Ah, my God. Sorry, I can't get that. The network is breaking.
I said bike says. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
It's
Sir,
different from
Bike,
what
Sir,
you
can we
have.
have the
It's not the
link?
same.
Can we have the
But
link?
it's
Okay,
not
it's
the
okay. I'm
same.
getting it.
can we have what?
But it's not the same file.
The link of the data, sir.
The data has been
So it's not
shared.
Yeah,
the
the
same
last
file.
sheet is it.
You can check
The file
the
bears the
browser.
same name. The file bears
Ma,
the same name, but the sheet you are is what I cannot see.
Yeah, so let me explain what happened. So that bike sales, you open the bike sales, then you go onto the sheet where it says sales data. You click that and you'll be able to
yes.
see this
Okay.
data. Do you understand?
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir.
The sheet.
I've worked on this particular data before, so the new one that's been shared with
Okay,
you
okay.
is the new one.
Sales
So
data.
just go to sales
Data.
data.
We are there.
Okay. So you need to know
Field.
what's going on with your data. That's the first thing that you should pay attention to, and you have already known how to write a formula in case you are to get some kind of answers to the questions, because data analysis is about getting answer to a question being asked. Maybe they ask that, okay, what is the let's say we have dates here, right? So let me just start with that, because we are trying to use the knowledge of what we have learned so far. What I can see here under the date is just 2017, right? And that doesn't mean it's only 2017. That doesn't conclude that maybe the bike is only about 2017. So as as I'm working on it, I can do things to first to quickly check how many years of data does this contain, and which they have taught you yesterday. And I believe we all know that we are working with table. This is not a range, so we are working with table here. We have changed it from a range to table. So I can just click on this arrow on the year, this arrow down on the year to check the kind of year. So this shows the years that I have in my data set. I have 2017, I have 2018, I have 2019, I have 20.
Paul,
Yes,
Paul,
yes, sir.
I think it would be nice that you walk us through how you change this range into a table. So that
I thought it has
but
been. That's why I don't want to start with that. I thought they are
no, please, it doesn't matter. Please, you need to. It's a revision, so just assume that some people might have missed 2-3 classes. Just assume everybody was just starting like just a revision. So let's work on that.
Hello, baby.
okay, sir.
Lórí kíní ni mi bá ti. Tẹ́kùn bá rí irú data yìí lórí kíní ló máa make sense. Màá kọ́ máa.
So I will firstly take us through how to convert a range to a Z table. In case maybe what we are working with, we are working from a range. And one of the things to check whenever you have a data, and today this class on Friday, ribbon here, you can see where we have file, where we have home, we have insert, we have drop. So if you check through all this name and you cannot find table design, or just design, because we have different kind of Excel fashion, that means you are working with range. And how does range look like? Range is just like something like this. Let me find an example of range for us, or maybe let me just create a particular thing. So range is like this, nothing like customized, nothing like colored. If you can see now in this particular sheet I am now, there's nothing like table design up here in the ribbon. So that means this particular place I am now is a range. It's not yet a table. There's nothing like table design up here. So in that particular case, let me show us how we can change that, because the advantage of table is that it is very easier to work with, and you can quickly do some kind of use the drop down over here to check through some kind of stuff that you have with your column. So in case you are working with range and you want to change it to a table like this, so let me firstly change this to range, or see how I can. Okay, let me convert all this to range back so we can see this. Okay, so let me convert it to range. So I'm trying to convert it to range because of this scenario of how to change from range to table. That's why I'm trying to convert this to a range. I've converted to a range, but yet the color is still there, but we can see that there's nothing like table design up here. There's nothing like table design up here. So in a case by you want to convert from a range to table, just make sure you click any of your cell in your worksheet, click on that, then you press Ctrl A. Once you press Ctrl A, you have select all the data that has value, no matter how big or no matter how large they may be. You have select everything. That is the first step. You make sure that you have an active cell, which means there is a green box like this. There is a green box, and you can check that using the cell reference, which is up here where I put my cursor, which is E5. So just make sure you have an active cell in that particular data you are working with. Then you can press Ctrl A. Ctrl A is to select all. and it's going to select all that has value. So after you have done that, there is two ways of converting to table, but personally I like using the shortcut method, which is using some kind of combination code. And after you have pressed Ctrl A, you can also go on and press Ctrl T. Once you press Ctrl T, there is something like this that will pop up to you and ask you that create a table. Where's the data for your table? This particular thing we are saying here is just the range of the selected values in the worksheets, and the my table as header has already been ticked, so you don't need to do anything. Once this particular interface pop up, the next thing for you to do is just to click on OK. And once you click on OK, it's going to transform to a table. So let me ask, do we all get what I'm doing? Do we all follow?
Yeah, I missed that point from the Control T. So I know from Control A we highlight every other thing, and
Yes.
from there do we go on to press?
Please, can you go over it again, sir? Please,
Okay,
just go over it again.
I will do that just now. I will do that just now. Let me just start it back to what I have before. So the first thing to do is to click on Control A, which means you are trying to select everything. So let me just convert it back to. So I'm now in range. Don't mind the color, it's because it's table already. So you can see there's no table design up here. So I just make sure I have an active cell, which is I am in a particular cell. After that, you press Control A, which means select everything. Control A, select everything. Sorry, Control A to select everything. So once you have selected everything, then the next thing for you to do, I said we have two methods. So I want to firstly show us the shortcut method, whereby you combine code, you use some kind of code. So for that, after you have selected everything, Control A, the next thing for you to do is to press Control T. Immediately you press Control T, this is going to show up in your Excel interface. It's going to show up in your Excel interface. And what this is telling you is that you want to create a table now. And he said this particular box is talking about this is the range of the data you have selected. He said, where is the data for your table? And you can see that we have something like $A, $1, and then this is like a range of where we have selected that we want to change to a table. Are we together? Are we together?
Yes.
Okay. So the next thing,
Yes.
the next thing for you to do now is press OK. You click on OK. So once you click on OK, it's going to change to table. And how are you going to know if it has changed to table? Table design will pop up, or maybe design up here. So you are going to find your ribbon. Your ribbon is going to be in this kind of interface. So you must have that. And let me quickly teach us something very important, because in some class to come, maybe in this weekend that you are going to do, you may need that, is how to change your table name, how to give your table a name. Maybe you are trying to do some kind of VLOOKUP, you are doing some kind of searching for that table, so you can revert to that table with the name. So how to do that is, you can see by your left side corner under the file, you can see something like table name, and for your own you should be saying like maybe table 1. My own is showing table 3 because I've worked on it for some kind of times. So you can just edit it to any name you want to give to it. Since what I'm dealing with is sales data, so I can change the name to sales data. I can change it to sales data. So sales data. That's how to give a name to your this. And this also, this is the interface you are going to find yourself after you have changed it to a table. So you can pick any color that you want, you can pick any color. You have different color here. You can pick black. Once you pick black, you are going to have that change. Once you, because I've worked on this before, so I'm sticking with the color I have before. So that's what I'm using. Then you can work on different kind of stuff here. So that is how to convert range to table. The first one that I said I want to show us. So the second one that you can do, the second method you can do is by you can do that manually. So I'm back to my normal range. You can see there is no table design up here again. So I make sure I have an active cell. That's the first thing. I have an active cell. That means
So how do you change it back to range?
You can do that by going to insert and change it to range, or you can, what I just did now is undo that sign, that symbol beside the save button up here. You can see where my cursor is pointing. So that's where I do the undo now to change it back to range. Or if you want to do that from your own end, you can just go to insert, or you can go to, let me check here. You can go to data. You can go to data, and then from table to range, from range to table. But let me quickly show us the second one that I want us to get. So this is in range now. So that first step that we take is still what we are going to take. You select everything, Control A, select everything. So instead of pressing Control T, you may just try decide to come to insert, or you may just try to come to, let's use data instead of insert. Let's go to data. Let's use data. So from there you can set from table or from range to change that. So once you click on it, let's allow it to load. So once you click on it, it's going to show you the next thing. I think it's taking a while to load here. So you can see it pop up that creates table. So that's the second way of changing from range to table. But normally, what I always use is just that shortcut of Control A, Control T. That one is very straightforward for me, but I'm just showing us different kind of way we can change our table from our data from range to table. And one of the very first thing that I always do is to change any of the data I'm working with to table. And though this one that I showed us, the second one, may bring you to Power Query, but we have not getting to that particular point now. So you can just go to your close and load if your own, depend on the kind of version you are working with. So depending on the kind of version you are working with. Yeah, so if you are working with like a version of something like my own too, so it can do that. So you have your table already there. So let's just cancel that. But so the first method is the one I use most of the time. So just that one is easier. Control A and Control T. It won't be taking you to any Power Query and all that. So
Mr. Paul, come again, please. I didn't get the second method. That second method you used, the network was working.
Okay.
Thank you.
What I did in the second method was, let me just.
Excuse me, sir. Please, I have a question.
Yeah, what was the question, sir?
Please, maybe I missed it. Maybe you already said it before the exercise. So I just want to get to understand the use of these changing from range to table, the benefits.
Okay.
What it has to our analysis. Thank you.
Okay, sir. So I've already just mentioned just like some few points of that. One of the very good thing about changing from range to table is because it makes your work more easier. Like for example, now, if I want to, what I was doing before my boss just call my attention to show us how to do that. Like now, I have this particular column called year, right? So there is a drop down beside it. There is a drop down beside it. I can quickly use this drop down to check all the years I have instead of scrolling through or maybe doing some kind of stuff. So I can quickly check that, and it is more easier for me to do sort and filtering, which they have. I believe they have take you through that yesterday class. So if I'm in table, if I have my table, if I've converted my range to table, I can use this drop down. I can use this drop down to quickly access my sort and filter, sort and also filter. And also I can use it to check the range of values I have in that particular column. For example, now let me check another column for us. You can see this age group now. If I want to know the range of age group, I can see youth less than 25, youth less than 25, but I want to know the values, the set of values in this particular column called age range. Because I am in table, because I've converted my range to table, it will be very easier for me to see that by clicking on this arrow beside the column name. So if I click on it now, you can see these are all the values in all the column of age group. There is a particular one: adults, that's 5 to 64, seniors 64 plus, young adults 25 to 34, and also youth less than 25. So I know that this is the range of the data in this particular age range. They are just these 4 categories. But if I'm in if I have range, if my data is in range, it won't be very easier for me to check that. I can just write some kind of formula to do that. So that is why it is more easier, and it is very it make our work easier to when we convert it to table. And also another thing that we have there is that I can have my total row. Hello? Someone is speaking. I can't hear you clearly. Maybe your network. Someone is speaking and I can't hear what the person is saying.
You can continue.
Please go ahead, Mr. Paul.
Okay, sir. So another benefit is that I can have a total at the bottom of my table. So if I click on, normally by default, once you change your table from range, you change your data from range to table, the total row is off. But I can on it by coming to table design and click on this. If I click on this now, you will see what will happen. It brings me down, and the data we are working with is very large. Is 113,037. Those are the data we are working with, right? So for you to scroll down, do all those is somehow stressful. Do you get that? So if I want to have total of some kind of column here, it will be more on that total row. And that's only because I convert the data from range to table. So if I want to see the total of this particular unit price now, I just click here. Once I click in this particular place, there is a drop down beside, which I can use for many things. If I want to get the sum, which means the total of unit price, I will click on sum, and that will bring the answer for me. Mind you, don't panic that you are saying hash. When you are saying hash, the problem that you have is that the total value you have is more than that space you have. So the best thing you can do is to just make sure you enlarge that particular column. You widen it. And how do you widen it? Just go to the line between unit price and profit. I believe I'm not too fast, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
so you are too fast, Mr.
Okay.
Paul.
So if you
Mr. Paul, please, you are
Okay.
too fast. And I asked before to repeat the second method. You have not repeated it, please. That second method of converting to
okay, man. Let me just
from
do this.
table
I
or
still
from
have
table
it.
to range.
I'm just proving to us. So I like that question. That means you are not just doing that. Okay, I do this, I do this. That's how someone can learn, by asking questions. That okay, why are we doing this? We are not just doing it on just maybe tradition and all that. So if you are seeing anything like this, like ash, that means the number, the value is bigger than the space of the column. So you just widen the stuff. Once you widen it, you can see it will bring out the value for you. So, and I have lots more of advantage because I'm working with table. So you can see now I quickly get the total of this unit price now, and also I can get the average depending on the kind of calculation I'm doing. I can get the average, I can get the standard deviation, I can get the maximum. If I want to know the maximum unit price in this particular column, okay, you are working with this particular company and you want to see the highest price, for their products. So I can just do that, convert from range to table. Then once I do that, I mark the total row to see the highest of that. So that means the highest product that they have is just $3,578. Also, I can check for the minimum. Instead of writing formula, they showed us on the first day, you can use formula. Formula is also good, but this one make it more faster to check all this. You see, the list of their product is $2. So I can do a lot of analysis here, also checking through my data, examine my data without writing formula, because I already have table. So I can do all the statistical summary, which are all these things there. So let me quickly go to the second method, which someone asked that I should show. So let's go to that method. So I may not do that practically and just show us to us. So let's assume that, okay, let me find any of this thing that they are not stable. Okay, this is not table, so I'm just using this for example's sake. So this is not a table. So once I want to show all the second one, I'm not going to do like everything. Once you make sure you have an active cell, you press Ctrl A. After pressing Ctrl A, that means you select everything. Then you come to your data. You come to the data in your ribbon up here. You click on data. Once you click on data, you are going to see from this left side, from table to range, from table or from range. So once you click on that, it's going to take you and change it to table. But one of the problem that one has with this particular version that I'm using is that it's going to take you to Power Query, and Power Query is another thing entirely for data cleaning also. So Power Query is another thing. I think next class by weekend should cover that on how to use Power Query, and I think I did some kind of tutorial on that on my YouTube channel. So by the way, so that's how to use the second method. So let's come back to where we are working. Okay, so we have this already. So I think I've answered that question of why do we need to change from range to table. We have seen the benefit of that.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you. You are welcome, sir. So with what I'm saying, we are trying to do the general review of what we have done from weekends and add some kind of knowledge to what we have already. So the Excel you have known, you know how to write formula, you know how to do this, you know how to do that. So let's assume that, okay, you are working for this company and what they are doing is just bike sales. What they are dealing with is bike sales. They are selling bikes and all that, and they give you this data. And as I've said earlier, that data analysis is about giving answer to some question asked with your skills and how you can use Excel. That is what data analysis is all about. There must be something you are trying to give answer to. And from experience working with industry, working with people as freelancing and all that, you are going to give answer to something, to their questions. So that means the skill that you have gathered over weekends, how you can use it to answer some kind of questions. So one of the things that I mentioned to us is that you must know what is going on. Without you understanding your data, it will be very hard for you to know what is going on, what you need to do most times. So the first thing is for you to know what is going on. Okay, the data they give to me, thank God we have said it that we are working with a bike sales company, so you know that they are selling bikes, right? Okay, but you need to know what is actually going on, the kind of column, the kind of data contained. So that's why you can see we have date, we have day, we have month, year, all these column. You need to check them one by one. That's okay. What are the things that they have? Okay. One of the things that I can see here is that there is unit cost, there is unit price, and there is profit. And there is also what? Cost. Let me just ask us a question to test our knowledge. What is the difference between the unit cost and this cost? Do I have anybody that can give me an answer to that? I believe we can all hear. We can all hear me.
Please, what is the question again, sir?
I said, what is the difference between the unit cost and the cost in this particular data? I see unit cost here and I see cost here. So what's the difference?
Cost, profitability. What should be the cost per sale? Like,
okay,
it is the
hello, can you hear me?
The cost is the total cost of all the products.
cost of the order.
Okay, let's.
The total cost.
The cost
Total cost
Let's
of
do it like this.
other contingencies added together per unit per product.
Okay. So,
Maybe
I believe we have actually answered well because many people are talking at the same time. So what we must pay your attention to is that you see, dealing with some kind of analysis, every numbers are very, very important. If you do just a slight mistake, it can cost the company a loss of millions, and it can affect them. Okay, someone raised their hand. So what do you want to say, ma? The person raising hand. Okay, so if nothing, so let me just continue. Okay, so you must pay attention to everything. You must pay attention to everything. The difference, I could not hear us very well, but I believe we answered very well and we answer correctly. Unit cost is just one product. This cost is what we have used our Excel knowledge that they taught us on Friday how to use formula by multiplying unit cost by the order quantity. That is what we have done. That means we have multiplied this order quantity by the order quantity. We have multiplied it with the unit cost. That means 2 times 1,519. That is what gives us this particular price here. So that is the difference there. And we also have unit price. And who can just tell me how we get this profit? How we get this profit? Because all these things are something that you know how to use Excel, right? But the mathematical part of it, you must pay attention to it also. So how do we come to this profit? How do we get the profit?
Revenue minus cost.
Revenue minus what? Cost. And what is our revenue? What is our revenue?
Okay, that's a 95. The total revenue.
No, I'm just asking that. What is the column for revenue here?
That's
what is the column that we can?
The last column on the right.
Okay, which is the cost?
The revenue.
Or is that what? Okay, and the second one is what?
The one beside it to the left is cost.
Okay. I'm asking that how do we get this profit?
The difference between the two. That's revenue minus
difference between the two. Okay, so coming. Okay, so that means, you know, this is all the thing we need to pay attention to. Your mathematics progress is going to actually like show in this place that okay, you, when we want to calculate a profit, it is the particular price minus the what, minus the cost. That means the amount they sell it is more than that. Okay, so that's how to do that. But there may be a particular question I want us to, you know, we said this class is going to be like reversing what we get, what we have learned so far. So if I want to know the profit margin ratio, how am I going to know that? If I want to know the margin ratio, how am I going to know that? I am asking the question now. If I want to know the profit margin ratio, how am I going to get that? Anybody? If I want to know the profit margin ratio, let me just write that.
I think it's been long, but I think it's the profit over costs multiplied by 100. I hope.
Okay, thank you very much. That's how to get it. The PMR is the total profit divided by total sales. So all those things are just something. Don't feel bad if you don't actually know that. That's why you have internet to check that. Okay, the particular question that okay, the owner of this organization is asking you now to go and provide answer to, is that okay, you need to find the profit margin ratio. You can check your internet and ask for the formula of that, and after you have gotten the formula, it's now left to you to know what the kind of calculation you need to do using your Excel. Mind you, this particular data set we are working with is what, 113,000 plus, which means you cannot do it manually, counting them one by one. You need to use formula to get that. And if I'm going to do that, that means I need to create some kind of formula, which I'm going to show us now. I want to check my my margin, my profit margin ratio, which means I need two things. The first thing that I need is I need my total sales. I need the total sales for this. Then the second thing I also need is that I need the what, the total profit. So I need those two things. And with what you have learned so far, you should be able to calculate and get your answer to this. So if I want to know the total sales, who can tell me the formula that I'm going to write to get that, or maybe the function I'm going to use to get the total sales, and which particular column am I going to use? Anybody?
The question again, please.
I said I want to calculate profit margin ratio. The owner of the company of this bike says ask us to calculate profit margin ratio. Then we don't know it. We go online, we get the formula. That means online has actually helped us to give us the formula, which is total sales divided by total profit divided by total sales. That is the formula to get profit margin ratio. But if it is in percentage times 100, so that's what we want to get. Now that means I need two things. I need to get my total sales, and I need to get my what, total profit. So I'm now asking us that from the knowledge of what we have done from the previous class. So how am I going to get my total sales, or which particular is which formula, which function?
We'll be using the revenue column and the profit column.
Okay.
Then I think at the bottom we will use the sum, the total. That's the sum function from the arrow. From the arrow where we check average, count, and
Okay, I believe yes. Yeah, we are going to raise. Okay, is mistake. Someone was raising up their hand before. Okay, so let's say I don't want to go down. I don't want to tick my this thing. I don't want to use that. I want to write formula now. I want to write
Hello,
formula.
good
Okay,
afternoon,
someone
Mr.
is
Paul.
raising up his hand.
Good afternoon, Mr. Paul.
Yes, ma'am.
I
Good afternoon, ma'am.
For the question you're asking for the total
Yes, ma'am.
cost column. We'll go to the last part of the cost column where the total is. Then we'll would insert the formula which will be equals to sum in brackets,
So I'm
then
following. Yes. Okay.
equal to
So
sum in brackets, then let me see the table.
okay.
You go to some Q, that will be Q, I think it's Q2, then
Okay.
Q2 through, and the last, I can't see the last column, a bit the last row there. Then Q to the last Q, bracket, then enter, so that it will give us the total of the cost. Then for the total of the profit, it will be this profit margin, which is P.
Okay, ma'am. Which is this
Then it will
particular
be
one.
the sum.
Okay. Thank you very
This
much,
one.
ma'am.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. That's great. Yeah. And I'm going to show us another way. You can see you mentioned something now that okay. That means I'm going to select from this Q2 down the line, right? And mind you, the data I'm working with is 113,000 plus. And let's imagine that I've got to 111 and I just mistakenly press make a particular place active. You can see I still need to start.
I'm not saying you're going to drag it though. I'm not saying you're going to drag. You're going to write the formula direct. Q2, then we'll now check the last Q. I don't know what the last Q will be because I'm only seeing from 1 to 21. So that's why I said we'll now go and check what the last Q is, then put it, then we'll enter. Put enter. I mean click on enter.
Okay. So let me just quickly give us some short method, because now if I said I should be scrolling now, you see it's taking a lot of time because I'm dealing with hundreds of thousands of data. I get your point. That means you want to select the range, but there is something faster. There is method that is very, very faster to do that, which is clicking on this, because you have turned it to table. That's why table is very, very good. That's what first thing I do anytime I want to. So you bring your arrow to that particular column name, which is cost. You can see my arrow there now. The arrow has turned to black and is pointing down. So if I click on that now, if I click on that place now, it's going to select everything. You see, instead of showing range now, it's showing what? Cost. That means it has select everything that has value.
Okay.
So if I run that and say enter, so it's going to run now and carry out the formula. I'm going to do that because the data is plenty. That's why it's rolling like that. But that is not our total sales. That is not our total sales, because cost is different from sales. If you are going to agree with me, total sales means the sales they make, what they sell. That is what total sales mean. And what cost means is that the particular price, the particular amount it cost them to produce that particular product. So total sales is what you are trying to get. We are getting the money they get, which is revenue that someone was using before. That's okay, the revenue, the money they generate. And the money they generate is price they are selling those particular products. Here we are just changing that. Get rid of this. What I'm, the reason why we are using cost is to know the profit. You know, an organization, this unit cost, which I've asked from the beginning, how much, what is the unit cost? That is the amount it costs them to produce that, and the cost of this one is the two quantity order they have to. So this 2 times this, that is what gives us this. So for this, to get our total sales, the first thing we need to do the sales. Anywhere you want to create the column, you right click on that, then you go to insert. So you click on table column to the left. So we have a column. So I have new column here now. So I want to name the column sales. I want to name it sales. I want to name it sales. So I believe I believe so I believe, and this one is for the purpose of we are using it to do some kind of analysis. So I've created a new column, call it sales. Then I want to get the sales they are making. If I want to get the sales, that means the unit price times the quantity, the other quantity. That's what I want to do. Do we get my point now? This unit, the unit price means the single price they are selling one goods. The price they are selling one particular product. That is what this unit price is all about. So some people will just made a mistake and just do the total of this unit price. You are going to cost the company some kind of loss, or your analysis is not going to be accurate. So that's why we need to pay attention to some kind of details as analysts, or maybe as data scientists that you are working on different kind of projects. So it's because I do that. That's why I know that, okay, this is what I'm trying to do. With the knowledge of what we have known before the time, with the knowledge of that, of what we have known before, okay, so I want to write a formula to get that. So I want someone to attempt that. How am I going to get the sales now? I've explained what we need, or I want to know the particular sales, the particular amount they get in this particular row that I am now, which is Q2. So I want to know the the amount of sales. So how am I going to get that?
That
So
M2 times
okay,
O2.
N2 times what?
O2.
Times M. O2 rather. Thank you. Because we are trying to get that is O2, right? Times that they make on this particular product called bikes, which the subcategory is what is road bikes, and the product's name is Road 25 Red 44. Because they sold the other two
The network is breaking.
the other two, and the price they are selling one is just 2,400. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay, hear you.
Okay.
Yes,
Sorry for
we
that.
can.
So that's okay. So that's the how to do the calculation. Then I can now go on and get my what? My total sales. Are we together now? So you can see I firstly did follow a step before I now come to get a total sales. Some of my students which have thought for
Breaking.
they will just quickly go, if I give them as assignment or classwork, they will just quickly do that, and then they will now be I can hear you.
Sorry,
I can hear you.
Mr. Paul. Hello, Mr.
Yes,
Paul.
sir.
Please, how did you get
Hello, sir. I can hear.
the sales? Please, can you just go to the which column did you choose?
Okay, I pick unit price multiplied by order quantity. Do you get that, sir? Hello, sir.
I'm with you. It's fine. Thank you.
Okay. So do you get that? So that's what we use. We use the unit price multiplied by order quantity. That's what give us this. Because of the version of Excel that I'm using, you just do the flash fill. Okay. So with that now, I can say, okay, I want to go on and get my total sales. And if I want to get my total sales, I'm going to use which formula? Someone already explained before that I can go to my table
Equal to
and
sum.
make sure I make I activate this total row to get that and do that. But I don't follow that. I want to.
And then go
So
to the where sales is, which is column R.
column Q for sales.
R, not Q. Okay, Q,
Oh,
yes.
is Q. So
Yes.
to select everything, I will come here like this. I make sure I put it on this. You can see the mouth of the arrow is pointing down to the column name. So I click on it, because if you click it wrongly, it's going to select the header name also together with it. But I don't want to select the header name, so that's why I'm clicking that way. So once I've selected that, I can just press my enter to get that, but I've made some kind of mistake. So let me just fix that. I've made some kind of mistake here before. Let me just redo that. Okay. So that means I have my results here. So let me just let me go to the side. Okay. So I've told us already, don't be afraid whenever you see this hash. It means you need to just expand. You need to expand the the length of that distance. So that means this is the total sales they make, which is what 95 million. That's the total. Then I will go to this also. Since I already have profits already, I have my profits already, so I can do the sum to calculate the total profit, since I have the column of sum already. So the total of sum, then okay. So I just go on and click on this to select that, then enter. So I've gotten my what also? I've gotten my total profit, right?
Got 2
So
million.
for you to
Yes.
also know that, okay, what you are doing, you are on the not on the right path. You can see that if I want to get profits again now, if the profits column was not there, I can use my sales and my cost to get my profits. I can use that to get my profits, which means I will just said equals, and I will pick my sales, which means the selling price minus what? Minus cost price, which means the cost here. So I will just say enter. You can see that the price I get, this particular profit I get, is the same profit they get here. That means this is the right sales. You are on the right path. Okay. Okay, let me quickly show us something. I don't know, maybe we are shown that to take care of all this 0 that I am having at the back. To do that, there is a way of doing that. I don't want to see the 0. I want to 0 decimal places. That's what I want, since there is no kobo and all this thing there. So to do that, you just need to select the particular column you want to do that on. I want to start with unit cost. So click on unit cost, the column. So I select the column. Then I will come to this particular place. You can see where my cursor is. You can see this arrow forward, the arrow backward. This arrow that I'm currently on now is to increase the decimal. This one here is to decrease the decimal. So I can click 1. It will reduce the decimal places by 1. So if I click on it again, it will undo everything. That means I don't have any decimal places again. I don't have what? Any decimal places again. And this particular place I am now is not well formatted. What did I mean by that? Each particular column have what we call data type, which means the kind of data that particular column contain. But this particular unit cost that I am now is on accounting. That's why we see the dollar distance from the price, the numbers. But I want to format it as currency since it's dealing with money. So how did I do that? After I've selected it, I will just come to the drop down where I'm seeing the accounting, and I will click on currency. So once I click on currency, it has changed to currency, but it's still showing the decimal places now. So let me show us the second method of handling the decimal places. I've shown us how to use this arrow, which means clicking on that is decreasing the decimal. But we can use another method, which means after you see this number, this particular small arrow at this bottom corner, I can use it to format the number. Then if I click on it, once I click on that, it's going to bring me to this place. So I can do a lot of stuff. I can change the symbol. I can change anything. I can do that. Let's say as a freelancer now, the company you are working with is in Japan. Do you get my point? Is in Japan, and you cannot see $sign here because you know America is this thing. You want to get their this thing, or naira. You want to give it naira, so you can use this particular place also to format your number.
So if I want to change the symbol, I can click on this drop down to see different kind of money currency each country are spending. So if it is Bitcoin, if it is different kind of money that different countries spend, so you can see this is yen. Okay, I thought I saw yen now. Okay, this is the money the Latin are spending. This is Yiddish. This is Chinese yen. Yes, this is Japan yen and other. So you can format the currency to the customer or your client, the particular country. So I will leave the rest for us to format as assignment for us. So let's continue with the solution we are finding to the problem. You know, we are trying to get the answer to the question asked from the CEO. So we have gotten our total sales and total profit. I don't want to believe I'm just talking alone. I believe we are all together, right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I want to make sure we are together. So we have not given answer to what the CEO asked us. We are just working around it. You can see, for me to get the profit margin ratio, I follow all these steps, but that has not actually answered the question of the CEO. So to answer the question of that CEO, so I need to get my profit margin ratio now, which we know the formula already. So the formula to that is dividing what? Total profit divided by what? Divided by total sales. And we already know through the previous classes we have taken that, okay, we can do division by using what? The slash back sign. So let me firstly pick what I need. The first thing I need is profit, which is my U4. Then to divide in Excel, we use this backslash also. So then I will pick the second one also now here. So then I press my enter. Once I'm done, so the answer is 0.444. Don't mind this, it's just doing auto it's doing the it's doing autofill because I'm in table. So I've gotten that it is 0.444, but mind you, most of the time profit margin ratio are always
No, it's only me.
I can't hear you.
No, you're not the only one.
Maybe it's
Network is seizing. The network is seizing.
Yes.
Yeah, the network. Yeah, the network is crazy this evening in Ibadan. Don't know what is happening.
Okay. Yeah, stop sharing his screen now.
He has been yanked off. He threw him away.
Actually, sir, it's not only at Ibadan, Jerry.
It's there exactly what I was going to say.
Our network ban is bad, very poor in Nigeria.
I think it's MTN.
Yeah, it's MTN. It's actually MTN.
Even
MTN.
Glow. I'm using Glow here, but it's poor.
The network ban generally is poor. MTN, Glow, Airtel, networks are.
That's
It's only Starlink that is still like.
So we need to go Starlink.
That's it.
Yes, so may we leave Nigeria network today, our palaba.
Now Starlink.
We are already generating. We're already generating power by ourselves. Everybody's sorting out their power issue. So we might as well
That's
sort out our internet.
Our network issues.
I can imagine. So far so good. I hope we are making progress.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lot of progress.
Yes, sir.
So, the implication is this. So we're going to have a very lengthy assignment to work with during the week. So I want to share the assignments pretty soon. Do that as quickly as possible. Then also, I will need us to do we need a feedback form. Okay, we'll share a feedback form with us also, so that we can know how well we are doing and areas where we need to actually improve as quickly as possible. Okay, so while we are waiting for him, I will need volunteers to share their screen to show us what they have been doing so far.
Sorry, please. I wish you can come back online, but I don't know. Maybe any of us here can help me out. So there was a time he went
Can
to
you
the
share,
bottom.
Ms. Baldini, can you share your screen?
Okay.
Yeah, your screen so that we can see where you are, where you're stopped.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. You are not sharing your entire screen, or you are sharing just a tab. You need to share your entire screen.
Okay, I'm coming. Hope it's showing now.
Not
Is it
yet.
showing now?
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
Close your current screen
Oh,
and
right now.
then reopen.
Okay.
Go to share again, then
Yeah.
you
Reopen.
present something else.
Share and the entire screen. Yeah.
Can you see my screen now?
It's not. It's still the same thing.
It's still the same thing. Yeah.
It's the same thing.
We can see your Gmail account.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, you can see your Gmail account. But that's a cost on its own. Using online platform is a cost on its own. I can understand the frustration sometimes that people go through. Moide, can you share your own screen? Let's Moide, can you share your own screen? Moide?
Yeah, she stopped. She stopped streaming now.
Yeah. So Moide, share your own screen, please.
Okay, sir. Okay.
I'm so sorry. I don't know that I've been logged out. I don't know. I've been firing on here. I've been firing on here. Please
you've been out for like 5 minutes now. Yeah, about.
Oh, so sorry. Let me share my screen again. Then you tell me where.
Somebody said he had an issue. Miss Body had an issue, so it's okay. Okay, share your screen, Paul.
Okay, that's what I'm doing now. I'm so sorry. I've actually been firing on here, thinking we are all together. I just asked the question.
Man of God, we understand. It's not you, sir.
Okay. So where did we stop? Where did I
understood?
Yeah, you're doing the calculation.
The total margin.
The total sales and
no, profit margin ratio.
Profit margin
That's
ratio.
where
Sorry.
you stop at.
Do we follow the two steps that I use? The two methods?
Yes, we did.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Can you just come again for that profit margin ratio?
Do the profit margin ratio again.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay, so let me just redo that again. Okay. So now, all of us on this call, we are analysts hired by the bike sales company, and the CEO asked us that we should get the profit margin ratio. But permit me, for this particular class, I'm going to be the data analyst lead, which is doing everything for everybody. I'm representing everybody here. So he asked the question. Then we have gotten the total profit, and we have gotten the total sales, and we know that profit margin ratio is all about total profit divided by total sales. That is the formula. For that. Okay, so now to write that formula, we just start with equal sign, then I will pick total profit divided by, which means backslash sign, divided by total sales. And I said, because what I want to calculate now, it's always be in percentage. So I can be like, okay, since it is profit margin ratio, I can set multiply by 100. So I will click that, enter. So once I click enter, it will give me 44.26. 44.26. But I want to impress the CEO. I want it to see percentage at the back of what I'm doing. So I want to format this as percentage. I want it to have percentage. But if I click on percentage with multiply by 100 that I have in my formula, it will still do times another 100. And I don't want that to happen. That means I will go to my formula now, using the formula bar to delete times 100, because I want to use what? Because I want to use the percentage format to do that. So 0.442614 is the same thing as 44.26 percentage, but I want it to have percentage at the back. So I will just come to this general, click down, and I will come to percentage. Click on the percentage. Then I have 44.26 as my answer. So I believe we are still together. I'm checking now. So the next thing we are doing now as analysts, the CEO asked us that, okay, Delight Tech solution, okay, help us to find the total profit we made in year 2020. That means in this data we have here, we have different kinds
to go.
Please, we can't hear you again. No.
Sorry.
And Nigeria we
Okay,
do.
also we should.
It's network.
network is really enjoying Paul this evening. I initially thought it was only me.
It's a serious matter, sir.
Yeah, I give it to you. Okay. It's modest.
I think the network was due to rain.
Yeah, the weather is cloudy. Yeah, the weather is cloudy. Okay, Moiden, can you share your own screen briefly?
Okay, sir, I'm sharing it.
Was
Sir. I'm sharing it now.
the network is very, very fine. Yeah.
What network are you using, Mr. Jimo?
Glow.
Ah, wow. This is what I hearing.
Bluetooth okay, yeah.
I'm using
This
Glow.
is serious.
Bluetooth is okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Bluetooth is okay. Yeah, I'm using Bluetooth.
We
It's
said
okay,
that
Solomon.
we said that I think it's okay.
Let's assume it's the location.
I'm in Ibadan,
Then-
your state.
Maybe Ibadan, not in Lagos.
Wow.
So sorry, please. My MiFi this thing just finished. Let me quickly subscribe on that. I cannot connect my phone to my laptop. That's the issue. So I will soon be online back now.
It's okay, it's no problem. No problem. Okay. Okay,
Sir?
so Moiden. No problem, Mr. Paul. Wait for you.
Okay, I will soon recharge on that now. I don't know. I just see that I've been logged out. So let me quickly recharge on that.
No problem.
Okay.
So
So by
Moiden,
waiting for me, you can try to format all the columns that have 0 by making sure all of it does not have any 0 again. So quickly do that. Quickly do that as I'm trying to subscribe on that now. So let me just quickly do my subscription on that. So I give you that as classwork now. So quickly do that. Okay. 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 Let's do that now. I'm still with us. I'll join with my laptop very soon now. Okay. So I think he has I should be able to rejoin now. Okay. Sorry, I'm back now. So let me share my screen. Let me share my screen back. Okay. So I'm so sorry. I don't know. I was just trying to check back and I see that I've lost it. I don't know. Okay. I believe we can all see my screen now. So let me. Okay. So now the CEO of the company asked us that, okay, the LightTech solution, please get us the profit, the total profit for just 2020. That means I need to do something. I've checked the range of the year that I have here, and I can see that it's from 2017 to 2021. But I want to concentrate only on 2020 because that's the one I want to get the total profit from. So with what we have been taught yesterday, I need to do what? I need to just do some kind of filter, which means make sure I get some kind of this thing now. So that's why it is very good working with table. So I will come to this my arrow beside my year here. So I will click on that. Instead of selecting all, I will just click on check the select all, and I will just pick 2020 because it's only 2020 I want it to display for me now. So I will click OK. So once it loads, I've already filtered this particular data now. So everything I'm having now is just 2020. Everything I'm having now is just what? 2020. That's what I'm having now, just 2020. Then let me just edit this so I can. So everything I'm having now is 2020. And don't forget, the question the CEO asked us is that we should get the what? We should get the total profit for year 2020. That's what we want to get. And I've already taken a step by making sure that I've hidden all the previous years. I'm only having 2020 now. So I can go on and answer the question that, okay, total profit for 2020. Okay, so that means I will have the value in front here. So I can just go on and do my sum, which means equal sign sum, which we have been taught before how to get total. So I will click on profit. To do that, then say enter. Then that means the total profit they make in year 2020 was $42,126,410. So that means I've get the answer to the CEO's question. That's okay. This is the total profit they made in year 2020. And different kind of question that may come, I'm going to answer that using all the method, all the things that they have teach us from Friday runs through yesterday also. So that is how to do some kind of analysis. Then let's just continue. And let me quickly give us one trick that I always taught my students. Anytime you have a data and let's say the data is in table format, for you to know that you are not doing your analysis on a filtered filtered is the bad one. You need to check through to make sure that okay, the data you are working with is not being filtered. You have all your disaggregated data. You can check now that beside the year, the column year, there is something like a sign of what? Funnel, right? Like a funnel sign. So any place in your column that you see that sign when you are working with a table, mind you, your data will be in table before you can see that. That means they have done something with the data. And once you see a funnel sign, that means it is not all the data you have. It is not what? Hello?
Hello, we are with you.
Okay. So that means it's not all the data you are working with. You need to do what? Unfilter that. So because we are going to another aspect now, I will try to unfilter what we have done because we have gotten the answer. That's okay. This is the particular amount that they make in profit in 2020. But we have a lot of data now. We have a lot of data. So if I want to see the trend of what is going on with the data, I have 113 plus here, but I want to see what is going on with the data. Give me some minutes. I'm coming. Let me plug my system. I'm still with us here. Oh, let's offer me.
Don't vex. Calm down, Mr. Paul. Calm down.
Okay, yes, because my battery is already
Sorry, sir.
Okay.
A Nigerian
So,
factor.
yes, sir. So the next thing we want to do now is that we have a very much data. Our data is very plenty. 112, 113,000. So I cannot discover the CEO asked me now that okay, we want to know the trend of the pattern that is going on with our data. Which year do we make much profits? Which year do we make less profit? So how did I get that? That is when you can now start using the pivot table, pivot charts given to you yesterday. So to do that, I believe because I've worked on this data already, so I don't know, maybe we have the same thing. Do you have a particular sheet called revenue and profit? Someone should confirm that if you have that. Revenue
Yes,
and
we
profit.
have, sir.
Yes, we do.
Oh,
Yes, we have
so
it.
that's where we are
Yes,
going
sir.
now. That's where we are going now. I believe. Okay, let me ask a question. This particular small thing that I'm seeing now, what do we call that?
It's a pivot table.
Thank you very much. Pivot table. It is called pivot table. And I'm going to show us how to, for those ones that they are not in class also, I'm going to show them how to do that. But let's firstly answer the CEO. So we don't want him to sack us. So let's firstly answer CEO question. You want to know the trend of what is going on in the company, the profits and the revenue that they are getting over the years. So it is very difficult for someone to look through 113,000 data and said, okay, this is the pattern going on. So we need to do something. We need to do something, which means we need to visualize. Visualization is just something that represents a very big data in a let me say in a graphical way, and making us to see what is going on, what is happening in all the data. So what we want to do now is that we want to plot some kind of chart with this. We want to plot a chart, and mind you, normally for me, what I always use is I don't do pivot table only. I do pivot table and pivot charts, which I'm going to show us also. So okay, this is what we have now. The CEO asked us that okay, he wants to know the kind of the trend that their profit and revenue has been over the years. That's the kind of thing that they want to know. Let me be sure that we are still together, so I'm not just firing on only. Okay, so that is what we want to do now. So to do that now, I need to plot a particular graph, and mostly it has been proven over the years, or to me from my own experience, that anytime we have something we call time series, you want to do time series analysis, the kind of chart that is very good, that work very well, or that represents our stuff very well, is line charts. Line chart.
Line
That
graph.
is the one. That's line. Yes, line chart or line plot. That is one of the things that is that has proven over the years for me that it's represented very well. So for this particular point now, I'm going to use line charts, but mind you, follow what I'm doing carefully. I want to, because I want to plot these three things together now, I will select all of the value excluding grand total. What did I say? Excluding grand total. That means I will click from the year now. Then I will select through. I will select through. I will select through. I will leave that grand total. You can see I'm not selecting grand total. Once I've selected this now, the next thing for me to do is to go to insert. I will go to insert. I will go to insert. Once I go to insert, from there, before I even do that, I always teach my student this trick, that before you know the kind of chart, if you have not been familiar, you are not very, like, you have not been using Excel for a while, because not all the chart type you can use for different kind of data you have. So you can quickly use the recommended charts to look at how different charts is going to appear if you are doing that. So once you click on that, it's going to show you preview that, okay, if you select me for this your particular data, this is how I'm going to look like. And I've told us that when we are dealing with time series analysis, like a data that has time in it, line graph has actually been proven that is the best. So I'm not picking this. I can still check for the stack column. If I click on stack column here, it's still going to change it. You can see. So you can exploit that. Is going to be one of the assignments that I'm going to give us, that, okay, we should go and exploit different kind of that. So you can check different one. You can check pie charts here. You can see pie chart is showing us this way. You can check do not charts. This is do not charts here. Let me see, are we still together? Okay, I'm still together. So this is do not charts. You can check that. Each one of them have their strength and their weakness. So let me go straight to the point and see how the line chart is going to give that to me. So see the way line charts give it to me, and I'm okay with it, because I can see where it rise, I can see where it fall, which can make me to quickly talk about the allowing me to see the overview of what is going on. And I have something beside which I'm going to tell us what it means. So let me pick my line charts, and we have different line charts also. So this is another one, but I'm going with the first one. So I said, okay. I believe those of us that we have system with us, we are also following that at our end. So let me know if you have any issue with this thing. So are we together? Let me hear from the house if you are still together.
Yes, we are.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I don't want to disappear again now. So you can see what we have now. With this, I can see that, okay, don't let me even see. Let you that you are on the call. Let you see. So what we call this particular point, this one beside here, that is showing the color, that, okay, this one represent this represent this, is what we call legend. We call it legend. I don't know, maybe that's what they call it in Excel. Yes, they call it legend in Excel too, because in Python also we call it legend in Python too, when you are doing Python this thing. So they call it legend too. Okay, so that means the blue is showing the what? The 12 months profit, and the orange is showing what? 12 months revenue. So now, as someone that's been in this class, this is your third time, and I really respect the tutor that take you through the Friday and Saturday. He has really done the great job, including my Oga, because I also see that Bruno take you for some class. They are my fathers in this field. So now we have this now, which means all this big data the data of 113,000 has been summarized to this just small thing, which can make me know that, okay, this is the year that generates most profits. This is the year that they make highest profits. Okay, this is the year you make this so profits. That means there is something particular that you do in this year that make you to get this particular profit. You can reproduce that. But in this particular year, you didn't make much profit. That means there's something you are doing wrong in that particular year that you don't need to repeat again. So from the chart now, and maybe we can see that, okay, which year particularly has the highest profit. I want someone from the house. Which
year 2021.
2021. And
2021.
2021, okay. And the highest what? Revenue also, right? Highest revenue. But as an analyst, I always tell my student that you need to have something we call eagle vision. Eagle vision, that you must pay attention to the details. You are not just looking the way others that we see this are just looking at that. Do we get my point? So we need to look beyond what is actually going on. That's okay. With this, what is really going on with them? Yeah. Then you can check through that, okay, what is going on. If you check through very well, there are some years that they are getting higher revenue, which means they are making much sales, but their profits are not being maximized. Like they are not getting some kind of profits that maximize that if we check through that very well. But mind you, our time is fast spent. I want to show us how to do pivot chart and pivot table together. For those one that they may not be on the call, as your guys called my attention to that before. So let's go back to the big data. Let's go back to the big data. Let's go to sales data now. Okay, so we are now in the big data, the sales data. So to do this pivot table and pivot charts, I'm going to show us, but let me quickly tell us story of why we need that. I told us from beginning that when we have something like this, when we have bigger, we have all our data like this, we call it disaggregated data. Then for us to narrow down our analysis, I cannot see everything here. I cannot visualize everything in this particular point. And the different question that the CEO of the company is asking me will determine. That means I want to have my focus on particular question is asking. For the example now, this revenue and profit, that means it's just he asked a question that help us to check the profit and revenue, right? That's why we come here. And anytime you are doing something we call pivot table, that means you are doing aggregated data, summarize of your data. So that's why it is important. That's why pivot table and pivot chart is very important for us to master. Okay, so for you to do that is not hard. Just make sure you have an active cell. Then when you have active cell, you click on insert in your ribbon, as the facilitators on Friday have shown us the ribbon. So you click on insert. Once you click on insert, by your left hand side, you can see something called pivot table, recommended pivot table. Let's say on your own, you are just trying to learn, you are trying to get some kind of ideas. There's no particular question you are trying to answer. So you can use the recommended pivot table. If you click on that, it's going to show you different kind of pivot table. The one that you can select, is it sum of the profits by country, or is it the sum of the profits by state, or is it the sum of the unit costs and any other stuff like that is going to give you what? It's going to give you some kind of ideas. But in the real life, the person will actually have some kind of question that they're asking you. So I come to insert, but I'm not using that personally now. No, I'm not using that because I want to create pivot table and pivot charts. Pivot table and what? Pivot chart. So I will come to my right hand side where I have another thing we call pivot charts. We have pivot charts here. So are we together? Are we
Yes,
together?
sir. Yes, we are.
Yes, now we are.
So I will come to this part where I have pivot charts. Then I will click on the drop down. Okay. So I will click on the drop down. Once I click on the drop down, I'm going to see option for pivot charts and pivot table. So I'm going to see option for pivot charts and pivot table. Then I'm going to click on that. Once I click on that, it's going to bring this interface. It's going to pop up this thing, asking me that, okay, what is the table range that you want to use? And where did I want it to locate? For now, I'm going to show us two things before we round up the class and maybe give us some kind of assignment that you can submit that to you can submit that in the group, WhatsApp group, or to Abuno or any of my guys or Mr. Jimo that has taught us before, or also me to check what you have done. So the first thing I want to show us now is that this is what is going to show. Then it's going to already click on new worksheet. So with that, I can just say, okay. I will show us two things. So I will say, okay. So this is what is going to show. You can see everything is blank. Everything is blank. Then you can now decide to pick whatever you want to pick. Let's say the question that the CEO asked us is that I want you to see the customer age and the profit, or the customer age and the revenue, so we can know the kind of customer that they are buying many things from us. That's the question he asked us. That's okay. Tech the light text solution, please help us to get the kind of age range of customer that they are patronizing us. That means I'm working with two things. I'm working with revenue and I'm working with what? I'm working with the age. And I will give us, you can see from my right side here, I have 4 places. There is one filter, there is one legend, there is one axis, and there is one value. So let me quickly clear us. Anything you are dragging, anything you are bringing, any column you are dragging to this value must be measured. The value must be what? Measured. What did I mean by that? That means it must be something that deal with numbers. That's the only column that we should bring to your value. And this one that we call axis is some kind of Excel version. What is showing there is column. Do we get that? So that is what you want to find, you want to have as your what? As your axis. So that means I want the customer age to be in my what? In my axis. That means I'm clicking on that. Customer age range rather. Let me find that. Okay. Group rather, age group rather. So the age group, I'm clicking on that. So once I click on that, you can see it appears automatically the what? The row. So what is the value that I want to check now? I want to check the revenue. That means the sales. The sales, that is what I want to check now. That means I will go to sales. I will drag sales to what? To value. I'll drag sales to value. Because I want to have it there. So let me do that. I don't know what's wrong with this. Let me do that. I will drag that to my value. So I will drop it there. So you can see what I have now. We have this now. The unique thing about pivot table and chart, the reason why I use it most of the time is that as I'm putting the values, is visualizing it for me immediately. It's visualizing it for me immediately. So as I'm picking them, I'm seeing what is going on. That's why I use that. Okay, our time is fast, man. This is 6:31. But let me just round up with that.
Mr. Paul, you have just 2 more minutes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So with that, I can see what is going on, and I can see that it is from the range of 35 to 36 that they are patronizing them. So I can go on to the CEO and tell the CEO that, okay, this is the kind of the range of year that is buying more many of our products from us. So permit me to end this class in this particular place, in this particular points. I believe we have learned 1 or 2 in this particular class. Thank you very much. Thank you for the organizer of this program. Thank you everyone for staying through. I remain my name, which is Ola Ojopo. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you, sir. I will stop sharing.
You remain loyal. Thanks a lot for that wonderful presentation. Yeah,
Yes,
so
sir.
we have shared a link for feedback and attendance. Please do fill it. And also, just in a moment, many of us said we have not been receiving emails. I don't know what happened, but I need us to please confirm also while filling the form that there's a question to confirm that you have been receiving emails also. Some people also say, oh, they are not on the WhatsApp group. We have also taken our time. So we have sent another email also. Also, while filling the survey form, you also have opportunity to see the link to the survey, to the WhatsApp group also. So please, thanks a lot, everybody, for being part of this session today. I don't know if we can put on our camera to take a picture. Can we say do that in 1 minute? Let's take a group picture. Is this still feasible? Yeah, let's see if that is still feasible. Don't mind some of us, my own camera is so bad.
Ọ̀gá èmi ti yan sọ́lẹ̀ mo kọ́ sọ.
I can understand.
Okay, sir. Kò sínú yàrá ọ̀dọ̀ mi.
I thought you said they just brought light now.
Kò bulb mi ò ṣiṣẹ́ mọ́.
Please don't destroy your eyes. This is what led me to wearing glasses. I did not manage my light eyes well. I work very late in the night. I will not put on the light. This has actually affected me so much.
Let me go to the room then. I will go to
No, it doesn't matter. It's okay. It doesn't matter. You're fine. It doesn't matter. You're fine. It doesn't matter. You're fine. Okay. So, okay. Thanks a lot, everyone. So I can release all of you now. Thanks a lot. Thanks so much.
Thank you, sir.
You're most welcome. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.